Hi everyone, thanks for checking out the podcast. Steve Buzza here, Buzz about golf.
Partner in crime, Megan Buzza.
So, this is going to be a quick, straight to the point FedEx Cup. They go to Eastlake next week. Do you like the new system? So, they were doing that because let me go back to the beginning. So, when they first had the FedEx Cup, you would get the winner of the Tour Championships, and then you would get the FedEx Cup. So there's the time Bill Haas won. So Bill Haas won the Tour Championships. He was then waiting for the presentation. He said, "Oh, who won the FedEx Cup?" And they're like, "Bill, you won it as well." So to be the showpiece for the end of the tour, I understand why they want one winner. They went away from that, and it was the staggered start, so if you were winning, so I think Scotty last year started at 10 under, and then it was 8 under, 7, it was a staggered start. I like that concept in the sense the person who has had the best season gets the benefit. What I didn't like about it was I think it's really hard to win on tour. So a standalone win is so much more than some other sports. The football, the soccer season has just started. The football over here has just started. If you lose one game, that's a bit upsetting. But if you win one game, it's not like, oh, we're going to, whereas on tour, you could go a whole career, be extremely successful, and not win an event. You take Tommy Fleetwood at the minute.
Yeah, he's a great example.
So he's had loads of second places. Does that mean Tommy Fleetwood is not a good player or not had a good career? And I think he will eventually win. And he has won on the DP World, to be fair. But can you see it's like golf is slightly different?
Yeah.
If you had in other sports,
Well, you're not gonna win them all unless you're Scotty, but
yeah. So can you see that was the thing I didn't like about it. They seem to, and I may be incorrect, but the metrics or what it looks like this year is halfway through the season, they've gone, oh, people don't like what we were doing, so we'll just have winner takes it all. Not sure. I don't like it that much, but many sports are winner take it all in the final.
yeah.
So, do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you not really care?
So I don't know as much as you do about this stuff. You know the ins and outs, but just as kind of a different views, I do like it. I like the winner takes all mentality. I do think that our game kind of needs a shift anyways, and that's why Liv's given it kind of a good run for its money, is that they're looking at it in a different.
So you're just saying they should just play 54 holes and music.
I really had fun at the Live event, obviously, but
let's just have music.
Just having different, different types of things, I think are good for our game.
Yeah, I get that.
Constant evolution.
And Scotty summed it up well. And for me, and again, it really doesn't affect me at all. But I think, sports people have egos. If I was Scotty, I would be a little aggrieved that, hang on, why is he getting paid all that money? And it's not that he needs the money, and it's not about the money. It's the value of where it puts you on the hierarchy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the principle of the matter.
Yeah, maybe more of the principle. But I think they've mixed it up a bit. I think they did bonuses when they went into the playoffs. I put something up on Instagram, and one of our friends in Florida, Jordan, said, I think he brought the Patriots up, and they were 17-0 going into the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl.
Oh wow!
So can you see there is that side of it, and that is sport, and sport is unfair. The one caveat to that for me is in golf, because we play different golf courses, if the course suits one other rather than someone else, Xander Schauffele is going to be the perfect example. He just seems to be a specialist around Eastlake. He hasn't had a particularly good season to his very high standards. He's qualified for the Ryder Cup, so he's doing good. He was sensational last year, but he has not had the year he would have liked. But he's now going to a course. He's got great memories. He plays great there, So then, let's say he goes out and wins. He's now FedEx Cup champion.
Yeah.
So we get here. So I like that we got different opinions. You're like winner takes it all. I want a bit more spice.
I'm cutthroat.
You're cutthroat. I don't care if you even play in any of the other two. Just get it. Winner takes it all. It's easy to critique and say you don't like things. What would you like in an ideal world? So it sounds like you actually don't mind this too much, but if you were the commissioner, how would you go about it? I have two alternatives that
let's hear it. What do you got?
I think are geniuses.
I'm not gonna let you leave me hanging on this.
So for me, there's two ways. And the other issue with the playoff, remember the playoffs came in because Tiger used to have won the Order of Merit, the money list, by about May. So that's why they brought it in. And Scotty made the comment. He said, look, if you want it to be a season-long thing, it's very rarely going to come down to the wire. So it's very rarely going to be really intense on that last day. Imagine going to the Super Bowl and you go, oh, that team had such a good season, they've already won. But we're just going to do it anyway because we got to give them the trophy. You see, so that doesn't work. So even Scotty is saying, look, if you have someone who's extremely dominant, Tiger was, that's why they kind of brought it in. So it was like, look, you have an advantage, but we got to reset the points.
Yeah.
You're so far ahead. You can go into the last, what used to be 4 events leading, but I need to reset the points so you're not guaranteed. Plus, the main idea was to make sure, especially Tiger, played all 4. Tiger didn't always do that. Rory didn't play the first one this time.
Wow.
So to get around both issues, you have the last 3 events as individual events, but the FedEx Cup champion is off of all 3. So
get him in. Yeah.
So literally 3 events worth of play. So that is postseason. It takes away, is one course better for you than the other? Plus, for me, like if you're thinking 3 events, you could be 10 shots behind in the first one, but then you have a great second event. Let's say the person who won comes off of that high, they can kind of meet you halfway.
Yeah.
Would it be a little chaotic? Maybe, but I actually think Liv's biggest draw is the shotgun start makes it chaotic. So like if you want to make it, because you are trying to artificially add some spice, so I think there needs to be a little bit of chaos. So by having 3, then you might send them, and I would then have to send this off to my advisors and go, do you send them, like the last day, do you send them off in order for the event, or do you set them off on the order of where you are in the FedEx Cup?
Ooh, that.
So,
yeah.
So you would probably do the latter on the FedEx Cup, but can you see you make it a marathon?
Yeah.
Plus, that's different. It's almost the opposite of Liv. Liv have gone short and sharp. I'm saying let's make this a marathon. So what would that be? 12 rounds of golf. Because you think like the crazy thing with Q School is how many rounds you have to play.
Yeah.
So make it like that. So that's my ideal one.
It's a good one.
You got anything to add?
No, I like that. It's definitely, this is what I'm looking for, is outside of the box.
Outside of the box thinking. So my first idea, you take the 3 playoffs, 12 rounds, just you keep going. It's going to be up and down, up and down. In theory, the person who's been playing the best golf, if they're truly the best golfer, they should do well in that. If you look at what Scott...
Has there ever been that long of a tournament, though, for golf? Like, that's That is outside the box.
Not until Steve Buzza's FedEx Cup
Wow.
2026. So that's my idea. I had another.
That's
I
a
had
lot of
I had another idea where you go. You either go into match. I got 3 ideas. Here we go. So this one is more, but
So the first one's the Steve Buzza
so
break 'em or
yes.
make 'em.
So I'm going to take you to the. I'm going to take you to the end. So you are going to finish with like 4 golfers. So I think if you're gonna if you're gonna manipulate it, you keep having more and more cuts until you're left with 4. The best way to do that is match play.
Okay.
So whether you did the Tour Championships completely as match play, or for me, and so this is where I get outside of the box. So you go 4 or 5 days, but the person who's winning, so Scotty doesn't have to play the first round, so he gets like exempt.
Okay.
So you have to scramble to get into the match play. So maybe the seeds don't have to play at a certain amount.
Okay.
Or I like the idea of you play.
I always have that.
Coughing. There we go.
You like the idea.
Rolling my eyes at you. How dare you cough? As if no one's ever coughed before. Comment down below if you've ever coughed. We go. So you make it so maybe it's 36 holes. So the cut goes into match play.
Okay.
But I think if you're like I said, if you're gonna manipulate it, you have last day. Look, four people in a group. Winner takes it all. I think the casual fan gets involved with that as well, because it's like, wow, look, they get you can almost make it your Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, I like that with the 4 because it's like the dueling concept.
And with that,
and how much people would be like itching to get
Yeah.
into that Final 4.
and that one in like pure match play, and the problem we've had, and I hate round robins. This is one for another day, but I hate round robins. They're rubbish. The bane of baneness. They're awful. But the reason
I have heard you say that.
But the
before.
reason they do round robins is because golf is unpredictable. A first seed, so if you were to do this Tour Championship, the first seed and the 30th seed, the 30th seed is just as likely going to beat the first seed.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of golf. Golf is a bit more sporadic on especially 18 holes. They used to have the event at Wentworth. I think it was the Volvo Championships. They used to do it when I was in England, the autumn. You'd call it the fall.
Oh yeah.
Well, I now call it the fall. I live here, but they used to do 36-hole match play. So you just smaller field, 36-hole match play. So again, if you want to say, look, match play is too random, you go, look, 36 holes. And then you go, so Scotty's 1 and 30. If the 30th guy beats him over 36 holes, you go, look, sorry.
Yeah.
But maybe doing it that way. We don't have match play on the schedule anymore. So for me, that's a good solution from and maybe not from a commercial point, from an entertainment point. The problem, and we've seen this in the match play in the past, is your main guy doesn't always win, and they sometimes get knocked out early. That's why round robins were happening, because back in the day, if Tiger loses in the first round, you're like, oh man, our star is not here.
Yeah.
You could argue if it's the 30, or you would have to do 32, because 30 doesn't go in unless you let your seeds see. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See, it's coming around. But you go, look, you do it that way. But I think whenever you look at it, the best way to do it is just have the money list. But that will 9 times out of 10 not be decided on the last. So if you are accepting of that and go, look, we need to have some spice in the end season, you want to have your Super Bowl moment, I think you have to go outside the box a little bit and actually embrace
match
something.
play events are so popular with fans too. So You know,
I like the match play idea.
that's your favorite out of the two?
I do, but the only problem with my match play, and this is what we used to see at the Dell when it was in Austin, so that was the kind of, I know it's not on the schedule anymore, but the problem with that, and I don't mean this disrespectful to the players that play well, but again, sometimes certain courses suit certain people. So I'm not getting out of that, but maybe life's not fair, sport's not fair. You have to deal with it. If you're the best, you're the best. You know, so they're my ideas.
I don't know. I kind of like the really long one because I've never heard of that before. But
I just think with the long one, and if you seen on the coverage at the minute, they like putting, you know, last week when I was watching, you had Fleetwood here, you had Rose, and they'd show like the tracker. But you see, if you did it over 3 events, you could have, you know,
crazy
like, and think about it. Let's use Scotty as the, you know, he is the main man. Let's say first round of the first playoff event, he doesn't play very well and he's down here, you know, but then you'd get to see him like chasing, and with that amount of rounds, with the differing conditions, you know, if you're 10 shots behind on day one, in 3-4 rounds time, it could be completely different. So for me, FedEx Cup, my go-to is, for the main reason is I know they won't go to match play. I think match play is the best one because match play is a pure version of the game. It doesn't get played because of its unpredictability. So from a commercial standpoint, you don't know. And the worst thing that can happen is on the last day, you have 2 players that aren't particularly well known dueling out for your FedEx Cup.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because you go in the Super Bowl, that doesn't happen. You don't have 2 teams that like
are not.
You don't. The 2 bottom teams don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, it's usually not even a surprise when people are there.
A better example would be in the UK we have the FA Cup. So basically you have semi-professional event teams play through initially. So the first round isn't the first round. It's where, you know, some of these lower teams have already played a bunch of rounds, and then the big teams don't come in until the 3rd round. But in that FA Cup, you're never going to get 2 teams make the final that nobody has ever like heard of. Or you go, oh, they're in the North Conference, you know, in 10 leagues underneath the Premier. You get the odd upset, which is great along the way, and you sometimes get a team. Coventry almost got into the final a couple of years ago. You know, you have these cup shocks, but you're not going to end up with 2 teams that no one's interested in.
Yeah.
You know what can happen in golf with match play.
That does very much happen in golf.
Yeah, and you can get like, you go, oh, but the top 30, they're all. Yeah, I know all 30. I'm not invested in all 30.
Yeah.
But to the casual fan, you're going to have 4 or 5. You're like, I've never really even heard of him. Do you know? So when the big final comes up and you go, oh, it's John Smith against. Thinking of another name. I'm going with Russell. I made up a story for Beckham. Russell the T-Rex. So it's John Smith versus Russell the T-Rex. You know, people. To be fair, people would tune in for Russell the T-Rex, but. Can you see, you're not guaranteed to get your showpiece.
Yeah.
So you end up compromising the full season's race, and you compromise not for this big showpiece, hence the reason this used to happen in the match play sometimes. As a lover of golf, I love the underdog story.
Yeah.
Commercially, it doesn't work.
Yeah, as
perfectly.
The big wigs.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and even like like JJ Spawn is made it to the Ryder Cup, but can you see when he won the US Open, he was a bit more of an underdog. But can you see it was an awesome underdog story? That's an organic one.
Yeah.
You know, if someone comes in and just like out the blue plays well.
Well, I think people would just find it boring if.
Potentially.
If
You know,
it's
and
not, if it's not people that they
Yeah.
know or
and you know if
can't get behind them.
yeah, and if Scotty and Rory get knocked out in the first round, that's a problem. But again, maybe you go, look, if you want a bit of chaos, you don't do a round robin though. So I'm not sure of the full I'm not sure of the full answer, but I know what isn't the answer. Round robins. So
Definitely not.
get some comments down below. What would you do with the FedEx Cup? My idea, you take all three events and you combine that for the FedEx Cup. It lets you have still your individual winners for the events, so it doesn't compromise the integrity of the events, but it gives you that. My other one is in some form you go, look, if you want suspense, you go into match play. If you have a better idea,
Or do you like how it is?
or do you like how it is? And how it is coming up with something that people didn't like and aborting it mid-season. If that's the type of thing you like.
Or if you just don't care.
Or if you just don't care, I appreciate you.
Comment down below.
If you don't care, I really appreciate you watching the whole of this podcast. You are a trooper, a true fan, and I appreciate you. As always, stay happy, stay safe.
Hope to catch you soon.